Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special Thursday show of Game Over. Normally, we do these on Monday, but we had a holiday, so we're doing Game Over on Thursday today. So, Game Over, if you're not aware, is a show where we like to put on speedruns of games that are either known for their high level of difficulty or games that are being played on a higher difficulty than normal, sometimes with an extra self-imposed challenge just to make things more interesting. And tonight, we are going to put on two really cool runs by some really good runners. The first one is going to be Ninja Gaiden Black, played on the normal difficulty level, but that game is difficult enough as it is, so I'm sure that we'll see some really exciting gameplay. And then we're also, after that, we're going to see a Nex Machina run, a shoot-'em-up game from 2017, run by Asuka, another showrunner, on the experience difficulty. But first up, we have TGD, the Godfather Dictator, running Ninja Gaiden Black. Take it away.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm the Godfather Dictator, and today I'm gonna be bringing you a run of Ninja Gaiden Black. So let's get into it. I'm gonna do a countdown and start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. All right. So originally, this game was released in 2005 on the original Xbox. And, well, it's known for being a very hard game overall. And when asked about running this game, I was asked if I could run it on the hardest difficulty. Mm-hmm. But sadly, it's been a little too long since I practiced that difficulty. But I definitely want in the future to be able to showcase the run. Now I'm going to get into specific mechanic. Here you will see I will break a torch, which leave a little yellow essence. And that's going to be something that we're going to be using throughout the whole game. And what we'll do basically is we'll use those essence to chain attack. So how it works is you got one level of essence that is going to be called the ET for an essence technique, and with two of these essence, it's going to be called an ultimate technique. And that also will work for the currency in the game, which is the yellow essence. And how it works is that every enemy in this game has a base essence value. And when you kill them with an essence technique, you're going to get 3 times the value of that essence. And when you kill them with an ultimate technique, you're going to get 7 times the value of the essence. And that is very useful because certain enemies are worth more at base. And because of that, you can get a lot of money, which will be useful to upgrade the various weapons in the game. So now I'm going to try to talk a little bit about the fighting because we're almost already at the first boss, but there's a lot of in-depth mechanic in this game that I will try to explain along the way. But for now, we're just chaining ultimate technique and essence technique. And sometimes Ryu here will do this where he aims at the wrong person. In this case, the ninja that was already dead. So now we're going to be fighting the first boss, Mirai, and this boss is vulnerable after his rolling animation attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a preemptive attack into the lift up attack so I can safely punish him. Sometimes though, he can still block that attack. It happens. But this is pretty much the safest strat, and you have to get rid of this boss, which is also Ryu's uncle, by the way. So we got chapter 1 done. Very important in chapter 1, we want to have over 1,000 essence, mainly because that is going to be used to buy a certain Nimpo in chapter 2, well, in the chapter we're in right now. And the Nimpo is basically would be described a bit as ninja magic. So there's 4 different nimpo in this game that you acquire through different spot of the game. But early, you get 2 pretty much early on if you have the money to buy it. And the first one we're gonna get is actually gonna be coming up right here, because we're back at the beginning. And that's also another thing that this game has that is really cool, is you have a lot of areas that you go back to at different time in the game. So there we just picked up Fire Wheel, which is the first nimpo that we grab in this game. We're also going to use that nimpo later on, but not right now. Another thing that we just grabbed, extremely useful, the Smoke Bomb. Even though it's not used that much in this run here on normal difficulty, it's used in a few spots specifically. I'm going to be talking about it along the way. But otherwise, for example, if I ever run Master Ninja difficulty, Smoke Bomb are used a lot throughout the run, and it's a very useful tool that it's sometimes overlooked by people, thinking that it's not good, but it's very good. But I'm gonna get into it when I get to use them. So now we got in the village here. By doing the specific movement I just did there, I canceled the cutscene that I would get otherwise for visiting the shop. Because if you're too slow there with your movement, that's what will happen. And here I'm going to be equipping the bow for the next boss and the Inferno for the horseman fight right here. And because of the aura of that nimpo being so strong, we can dismount the samurai from the horse right away. And then we're going to use the essence to ET both of those guys. And after, by using the potion that we just grabbed from the shop area to refill the nimpo, we're going to use the other Inferno to dispatch the last 2 horsemen. Here, we're going to grab a great elixir. And now comes the second boss of this game, which is called Masakado. And mostly the strategy against that boss is to try to hit the arrow, but there's definitely a level of RNG, and sometimes he can just decide to block it, and sometimes Ryu can also aim not the best. But in that case, it wasn't too bad. Usually you can run out of arrows, and then in that case, I would have had to fight him with my sword. But thankfully, that did not happen. Yeah.
I remember the shooting with the bow being a lot more difficult than what it looked like right there.
Yeah, and one funny thing actually about that boss is that on Master Ninja, this boss is actually easier because of the way he works. You can dismount him from his horse with an Inferno, with the same way I did with the horseman before. And then once he's off his horse, there's a reliable strategy to take him down. Compared to normal and hard difficulty, you have no choice but to shoot arrows and hope that they connect with him, you know. So yeah. But now, starting chapter 3, I grabbed the Devil Elixir, because again, we're going to use that later to refill the nimpo in certain situation. And here we need to absolutely grab this map, because it's the only way it will trigger that fight over here. So after grabbing the map, we're going to reach that area. And then I'm going to use the same concept that I used in chapter 1, where here, if you notice, I absorbed 1 essence, but I left 1 yellow essence behind. Because in this game, you can also chain essence in between fight. Because the essence will last a certain amount of time in the world. And then, as you can see here, I start the fight, and I'm carrying my essence from the previous fight into this fight. And we're gonna do it right here on the next one also. That's why we're leaving 1 behind over here.
Hey, TG.
And here, Yeah, go ahead.
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a noise gate on your game audio by any chance? We have some
No.
questions from chat about if the game sounds like affect gameplay at all.
If no, but no. The only thing is funny because I lowered the in-game music sound mainly because when I did long ago my try of the no damage single segment, I needed to hear the sound in the game. The effect better. And because of that, I lowered the music. But it's really not though because I don't like the music. I think this game got a really good soundtrack. No, it has a really good soundtrack. It's just it's really important that I hear the effect. And it's good also for tonight because usually I don't play with a headset on, because I'm listening the sound through my TV there in front of me. So that's how I get the sound cue. So if, for example, I add music on top of having my headset, I might not be able to hear every subtlety that there is in this game. And here, actually, I was gonna get. I'm just used to going straight, but that's a place where I need to do a safety save because I don't want to jinx myself and saying that I doubt I'm gonna fall, but you can still potentially fall if you angle yourself wrong after that fight here. So I'm just gonna do a safety save that I would say. So here, same thing again, doing a lot of what I explained. Like, I know it's happening really fast, all of this here, but I'm chaining the essence and I'm also absorbing a certain amount of them because you want to be able, obviously, to have enough essence. So this is the jump here I was talking about where it's possible to fall if you don't angle yourself properly. And same on the comeback. So I just wanted to be careful. Here also, this soldier is a soldier we used to kill for safety because there's a way with a specific move that you can kind of throw him down the airship, which is actually funny because you hear him kind of yell as he's falling down. But now we found a way to be able to skip him, which is also quicker. So we stopped throwing him off the ship. So now he's been saved for a while. And there you go. I just fell down. I jinxed myself. So I'm gonna redo the fight. And I don't know though why it went down the wire slower because there my angle was not where it was supposed to be. And I did like a jump after, and it just didn't go the right angle. But it's fine. We're barely losing anything. It's fine. No worries.
The movement in this game is kind of like
it's very
annoying. Like it looks like you should be able to go very fluidly, but like I don't know. I guess it's like the camera is also a little bit of a problem for the game.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It just
there's way to recenter here, but that was definitely my fault in the sense that I had a moment of distraction and I fell down. Like I shouldn't have fell down because the harder one is here. It's really not on the comeback, like the one that's risky is right here, the first jump, but the comeback one is a safe one. It's just when I got near the side, I tried to lower myself down and it feels like it didn't fall down right away and it threw me off after with the movement because when you're used to a certain movement and then a little thing throws you off, so but no, that was definitely on me. I wish I could blame the game in this case, but that's definitely not the game. That's on me. All right. So take two be the right one.
We believe
once we're past that part two, there's no other risky part. So that's how it was supposed to go there. So that's why I do not understand what happened where my camera ended on that side. But again, it's fine. We barely lost anything, so it's all good. And that's why I said in this game, by the way, I went for a higher estimate time because I know stuff like that can happen, like the combination sometime of being a bit nervous, a bit tired, and then you do a mistake that you would usually not do, So
Yeah, I feel like Ryu really likes to stick to walls as well.
Yeah.
Like he just loves sticking right to them.
The clinging, we call it.
Yeah.
Wall clinging, yeah. Okay, so now we're reaching the next boss, actually. This guy is called Dynamo, and we're gonna equip the Lunar Smoke Bomb and the Fire Wheel, which we're gonna use to do big damage to him while they're active, and hopefully it doesn't do his dome, because sometimes he can do like an electrical dome, and in this case there's not much you can do. So I'm gonna use here the smoke bomb, as you can see, to use as an extra roll, because smoke bomb also replaces a roll. So in this case, by doing that, it's giving me an extra roll animation, which allow me to dodge him in case he would go for the grab. So yeah, overall, minus that time loss, it was still a very good chapter. So it's all fine.
Do you ever get anything less than Master Ninja when you do these runs?
Well, yes, because that's I don't understand what happened, because that's a glitch that rarely happens, and it's on a digital copy. I'm on a digital copy of the game.
Is there any way to fix this?
Yeah, I can reset. I can reset from chapter 3. We're gonna lose time, obviously, but there's nothing I can do. That's a glitch that hasn't happened to me in probably 2 years, I want to say.
Wow, dude, this startup screen, by the way.
Yeah, that's
I haven't seen that
unlucky.
so long.
Unlucky, yeah. I have a digital version. I wish I could say I have a disc version. Do I have? No, I don't have a save in chapter 4, because I would have started in chapter 4 because we were there. But sadly, I don't have a save. My closest is chapter 6, unfortunately.
That's okay.
So,
that's okay.
Okay.
That is a new way to get a game over on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very unfortunate in that case. Yeah, and that's what I never understood, is how does that happen with the digital version when there's no disc in the Xbox? It's
there's
very interesting.
There's a weird glitch that happens in Dark Souls 3 runs where sometimes it'll kick you out because it says that you don't own the DLC for the game when you totally do own the DLC for the game, and it just won't let you continue. It reminds me of that.
So, yeah, but that one is that a frequent one? Because this one,
not very frequent. It probably more frequent than that. But still, it's just I've seen weird stuff like that happen with games.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate too, because the rest of the chapter actually went fairly well. Now I don't know if I'm gonna get as good as a boss fight. Hopefully, we'll see.
I'm super nervous for this platforming part right here too.
Yeah, it's funny because I never think about it when I'm doing actual run, but then when you're running at an event, it's a bit different, But usually I don't really even pay attention when I'm doing those sections. It's just by muscle memory, I'm used to it, and I'm just doing it. But it went fine. It went fine. Like we'll be back in it. And even with that, I'm super confident that we'll be way before the estimate time. Again, I went very conservative in case something like this happened, because I know this game sometimes can have some weird stuff happening. Of course, if it happened again, though, now I'm gonna I don't.
It's okay if we go over estimate. It's okay,
because there's not much I can do. It's. I wish I had control over stuff like that, but I sadly do not. So
you wouldn't be the first person.
Let's cross finger. Let's cross finger, everyone. And that we're getting through after this. So, and maybe you guys will see a dome because the fight went well the first time, and a lot of time he will actually be doing a dome. So maybe in that case you will see one.
Really high. Wow, that DPS.
Yeah, there you go. That was a very good one.
Yeah,
very good
that
one.
looks amazing.
Okay. So crossing finger here. Please let me.
Yeah, please let us get.
Let me pass. Let me pass, game. Let me get to the chapter 4. Got to showcase this run. Okay, so I was explaining something also with. There we go. So I was explaining something with. You asked me about the Master Ninja rating, so I was getting into that. So
yes,
how it works, the rating in this game, and it's not on how fast you complete the chapter or anything like that. It's really based on your score, because this game with the ultimate technique and the essence technique, you got a scoring system, and you had a leaderboard actually back in the day on the original Xbox.
That. Yeah,
it was very popular, and it's actually very cool. Karma Run in this game is just obviously very different than Speedrun, but the rating at the end of each chapter is based on that. So if you usually also, it's not too severe in a sense that you don't have to do ultimate technique all the time. Basically, if you manage to do fights within their time limit, you finish within the time limit of your chapter, you have your full Nimpo bonus and such, you're pretty much always going to get Master Ninja. So in the case of this run, well, that does not happen, obviously, because we're not playing for score, we're playing for speed, and because we're skipping a lot of stuff, well, you will sometimes not see Master Ninja, and you'll see stuff like Ninja Dog, for instance.
Gotcha.
And here I just got a Spirit of the Devil that gives us an extra slot. And one little thing I want to mention about that is that this is one of the few glitch in this game that you can use this item. And if you do the menu a certain way, I mean, you need to be perfectly timed on it. It's pretty tricky. But you can actually dupe the Spirit of the Devil and get extra Nimpo slot. And that's also a strategy that I've used on Master Ninja, because that Nimpo being very strong, it is extremely useful to have more Nimpo slot. We're not, well, some people are doing it on the normal run. I'm personally not doing it because I'm not very good at it overall. Like, I'm not super consistent at it. I will do it, but we'll say once out of 5 run or something like this. So it's not something that I can do in a reliable way. So I avoid doing it, because when you reach a certain level of this speed run, there's already plenty of RNG in this game that you don't want to add extra time trying to do that menu, even though if you do it really quick, it takes about 1 or 2 seconds. So it might not seem like massive, but it makes a little bit of a difference in time, basically. So we're almost done, by the way, with that chapter. That's a very short chapter, and it's also one of those chapters that always roughly go the same way, because the fight, each of the fight and all the movement, it's kind of on you as the player, and the fight often go the same way. So because of that, it's always around
nice.
the same time. Yeah, exactly. Relatively short chapter. Under 3 minutes, and we're on track real good also with those chapters. So even with the bug that we have, unfortunately, before
Ninja Dog.
There we go. Man. So that's exactly.
Cannot believe it.
Yeah, right. Could not believe. Did not play well on that chapter.
Yeah, gotta improve. Gotta practice.
Yeah, I definitely gotta improve. So here, there's also gonna be. A good bit of movement again. And talking about the movement, because it's something that I've been doing now a lot, and I haven't really talked about it. But again, there's so much to talk about in this run that it's really hard to focus on one thing. But I'm gonna explain it a little bit, because I do feel it's important, and there's subtleties with the way the movement is used in this game. So most of the time, if you notice, I will be roll jumping to get from one section to the other. But if you pay close attention, there is time where I'm just going to do what we call like an on-landing jump. So instead of rolling to jump after, I'm just going to do like a regular jump after my first jump. And the reason for that specifically is that because of this game has fairly complicated and hard movement overall, that it's all on you as a player that you control it, is that you want to be able to get from one section to the next. And by the way, that was a cool little skip here that I wasn't sure I was going to get. But yeah, sometimes if you don't get it, you have to despawn the ninja a bit further. So in that case, because I got it, I feel like it was worth mentioning. We're probably saving like 5-6 seconds with that skip. So because of the fact that you want to get to each area with the lowest amount of animation, well, this is why you will at times see me do those little jump. And there, if you see, I'm doing on landing jump because I'm going up elevation. And when you're going up elevation, it's always faster to do on landing jump because you're going to hit the ground quicker.
Yeah,
because you're going up. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's definitely very important because there's a lot of subtleties with the movement in this game. And sometimes I feel like it's hard to really notice what's going on when you're not used to running it. And it's something that I've started realizing more as I was helping people learn the speed run, because it's not something that I used to mention at all. But when I noticed that even people that were speed running the game didn't realize that, I thought it was definitely worth mentioning. So here on this fight, we're right again before the boss in chapter 5. A lot of things is happening real fast. So what we're going to do as soon as we're skipping that cutscene is we're going to Inferno, and then we're going to do a specific combo to dispatch this first dino. Then we're going to Inferno again. And with that combo, I'm going to kill him with the aura. And after, we're going to Inferno the last one and finish him with an XY into an ultimate technique. Now, I think that's the 4 bosses. So this boss is called Hydrocubus. And that's also going to be, I think, the first time that we use Fire Wheel. And I got pushed back a little bit, so let's try to get closer. And then after, I will deal him and use Fire Wheel to do extra damage. Now, interesting is that sometimes it didn't happen in that case, but sometimes if you're lucky, you will be able to get a 1 cycle on that boss, which is very cool, but it's kind of random how it happens. Now it didn't happen, but we still did a very good fight overall. It went fairly well, but I think that's definitely worth mentioning, that this boss, if you're lucky, can be done in 1 cycle. And we're gonna meet this boss again further in the game, but the next one, there is actually a strategy to be able to 1 cycle the next one. So I'm going to mention it when we get there. For now, we're starting chapter 6. Chapter 6, interesting, is that it's the second longest chapter in the entire game after chapter 15. And there's 16 chapters in this game for people that don't know. So there's a lot of stuff that happened in this chapter. And there's a lot of dynamic fight where... a lot of the fight that I did previously, we'll say, especially the one in chapter 4, that always go a certain way. And here, there's a little bit more of RNG, and specifically because of the type of enemies that there is. So now we're going to encounter the monk for the first time. They're flying monk, basically, with sight. and we're going to jump towards him and fire wheel right away, and then see where the next one spawn, and we're going to jump towards him and also finish him with fire wheel, because those enemies are obviously the most annoying enemies, so we're trying to dispatch them as fast as possible. And those imp went fairly well overall, because a lot of the time they like to go underground and such, and there's not much you can do about it. When they go underground, they just make you waste time, and it's out of your control.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, yeah. So here I'm getting a tablet, and also I got some incendiary shuriken that you can use to destroy breakable wall like this one here. And the tablet will also be used later, but it's worth mentioning. It's an important item, so that's why we're grabbing it along the way. So now this is going to be the second fight of this chapter, called the Monk Room. And first, you got to input a code here to be able to get a book that we're going to place on the next section to be able to progress. But now we're going to fight some monk with some little imp here. And this fight can be really frustrating, depending on how it goes, because the monk like to teleport around a lot. And a lot of the time, they'll teleport after you stuck them with incendiary shuriken, and in that case it's because if they do this, you basically lose. And I didn't want to do that there. I wanted to kind of leave the Nimpo, grab the Nimpo and get the yellow, but I used the essence. It's not the end of the world. I'm also not going to grab the statue right now because of the fact that I killed a guy too close to the door. I knew I was not able to backtrack to grab the statue. And that's something, actually, if you gentlemen could be kind to remind me to grab that statue in chapter 7, because if I don't, we'll get to chapter 15 and then we'll not be able to progress in the core, because this is a mandatory item. And if I have to backtrack all the way here, I'll try to remember myself though. But it's because most of the time in the regular run, you will have picked it up during that fight. But because it didn't really go as it usually go, I had no choice to leave it here, because otherwise the animation for it is kind of a waste of time. So I'm going to leave it before the chapter 7 boss. Now here, it's worth mentioning that I'm using the movement that I was explaining earlier with on-landing jump. So how it works is I'm going to press the joystick and the jump button and let the joystick go neutral, and then press it again. This is going to be another safety save, because this area here, if you're not careful and you jump in the middle, you just die. So it's a bit of the same as in chapter 3 if you fall down. But yeah, you just instantly die. So in that case, it didn't happen, but I put a save just in case. You never know what can happen. So now we're going deeper into the underground. So we're gonna be able to get an item again, so we can trigger the boss. And here we have like not necessarily a mandatory fight in the sense that you don't really have to fight those guys if you don't want to, but they're worth money. So usually I always try to ultimate technique those imps so I can get a little bit of extra money. I think it's never a bad idea to have extra money in this run. And for example, on Master Ninja, this is one of the biggest difference with normal, is that the money management, the essence management is, well, it's much harder to deal with. Here, we're getting a new weapon called the Vigorian Flail that we're going to actually use in this room here, not on those guys just yet. So first of all, we're going to dispatch these guys with an Inferno and some IS. And then if Ryu can aim properly, there we go. I think I did get a Nimpo here refill, so we're going to use that Nimpo at the beginning to dispatch those guys, and then I'm going to switch to that weapon and refill the Nimpo. And because I did get a drop of an Nimpo, usually we wouldn't necessarily reuse an Nimpo like I just did there, But because I got a free drop, it's basically pointless to not use it when you get a free drop. And even there now, I got another one, so I'm gonna be using it again. And then we're gonna dispatch. There should be only 3 guys left. So there you go. We got 2. And then I'm just going to UT the last guy. We actually got lucky with the drop. It's not the best money-wise, but I do think we got enough essence from those fights. So we'll see after the Bone Dragon when I get to the first shop. But yeah, we'll see. So here, elevator fight. I'm going to start the charge right at the beginning of the fight. And then there's a spot that we're going to try to be at so that we can cast the Snimpo here and then kill the zombie. Sadly, in this case, it did not kill the right one because Ryu did not aim at the right guy. But usually it will kill the zombie that just appear from hitting that button so that you can re-hit the button quicker. It's not a big time loss missing that, but sometimes that's what will happen is that Ryu will decide to aim at the wrong zombie. You don't have much control, sadly, over where Ryu aim in this game, and I wish you did, but yeah, sadly you don't. So those bats sometimes can be very hungry. And they can delete your entire life bar if you're not careful. In that case, they were not too bad, but yeah, sometimes they can definitely be pretty bad. So here, I didn't want to speak too much because this is the notorious spot for people to get stuck at in this game. And even as speedrunner, it does happen sometimes that you get shot off by those archer zombie because they are very accurate. And sometimes they just wait that you're not holding your block button to just shoot at the perfect timing to make you fall. It can be pretty frustrating, but there's not much you can do about it, sadly. So now we're at the next boss. That's called the Bone Dragon. So what you got to do for this boss is you got to dispatch is 4 limb. And usually we're going to use the flail for that because it does the most damage against him. And there's 2 combo we're going to prioritize. The XXY that I'm doing right now, and sometimes we'll do the XYY or just the XY that looks like this. That is kind of like a little kick. And it really depends on the circumstances on what's happening in that fight. But most of the time, you will want to prioritize the first move, which is the XXY instead of the other one. And overall, it went fairly well. The fight went fairly well. Sometimes he can do a lot of tail swipe. And during that time, obviously, you cannot damage his leg. So in that case, it was pretty cooperative because he didn't do many tail swipes. So that was a good Bone Dragon. Now starting chapter 7. We're going to be grabbing this life upgrade here. I don't know if you can hear it. It's shining. And also here, we got to be really careful because if you jump down, you also die. That's another point where you got to be careful to not be too much in a hurry after the chapter and kind of see where you're at because otherwise you can fall down and you will die. In here, it's fine to actually fall down. Because the Bone Dragon landed on that and destroyed the floor, which is the place where we have to go. And now here, we're going to be upgrading the Dragon Sword to level 3, which is the final level for the Dragon Sword. And we're going to be refilling the Incendiary Shuriken, which we're going to use for the next section. And also, I'll try to show another cool skip in chapter 9. So here, because of the level 3, we unlock this move called Gleaming Blade. And that move is a really powerful move. and it's one of the most useful move in the game that we're going to use many times. We're not going to spam it on every enemy, obviously, but on those specific enemy, it's very very good against them. It deals a lot of damage, and we're also going to use it on the next boss that is behind that door, because we have 2 rooms. So we did the first one here, the blue room. We're going to grab the arrows because we're going to use them also later. And here we're going to go in the red room. And in the red room, we're going to do the room, or try to do a room a bit more differently, because we're going to stay on the middle bridge and we're going to take damage on purpose to be able to cross in between the movement of, I don't know what you would call those actually. Would you have a name for those? The spike that goes left and right?
Like a pendulum, sort of.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. There you go. Yeah. So so to basically make sure you don't get hit by those, because if you do, you will fall down. So here we're going to grab a devil elixir to refill the Nimpo again, and we're grabbing a great elixir for the healing. So here, next boss, surprise,
this guy again.
Another Hydrocubus. This time though, we're going to try to see if we can potentially one cycle him, and I think we got it. There we go.
Nice.
So the thing is that depends, is that when you do your flying swallow, it really depends where you land with your fire wheel, because sometimes you can land, like, it's hard to explain, but you can land about like his corner of his little feet, because he has like tiny feet. And if you do, the fire wheel will not tick when you're landing, and it's crucial that fire wheel start ticking right when you land, because it's basically the amount of damage that you need to be able to get that one cycle. So it's very important. Here, another very useful item that is going to be used later, called a Jewel of the Demon Seal. That is going to be used later to upgrade one of the Nimpo we get later on, but it is a very useful item, very strong. And here, if you fall down from this puzzle, this platform goes back up, and you have to press another button so that you can reset it. So gotta always be careful on how you jump after you trigger this. So here we have a corridor with a bunch of bats, and then this area is going to get flooded. And then I remember the statue in the next room, so we're gonna pick it up to make sure that we don't get to chapter 15 without it, because I know it's right here. So we're gonna clear. We have 3 Black Spider Ninja in the next room, so we're gonna clear those guys. And then we're just going to grab the statue at the end, make sure we don't forget it. So here, I'm going to actually use Gleaming Blade again. And they're being a little bit annoying. Okay, here we go. Yeah, sometimes those guys can be very dangerous. Do not underestimate them for sure. And there, in that case, though, I should have done a counter attack with an X, because the why I did it, because I wanted to do a Fiend Seal, but then the other guys were too close. So bad idea. Here, Notorious Boss, Alma. I think everyone that played those games must know about this boss. And surprisingly is that she can still be annoying in a way that what is happening right now, this fight is more like a best case scenario type of thing, because that was a perfect fight. But she can dodge those Inferno. Sometimes she will not let herself be defeated so easily. So in that case, it was really good, and I'm glad to have been able to showcase a perfect Alma. but it does not always happen like that. I feel like it's important to mention because otherwise you add in, running this game with those expectations, and then you realize that it doesn't always go like that, sadly.
TG, did you
yeah.
mind if I get in some announcements soon?
No problem. I'll just do the first fight, and I was gonna say actually
Sure.
after, if you want, there's a bit of movement,
Oh,
so
great.
you can do it. So here I'm just gonna explain that fight real quick. I'm gonna use Inferno, dispatch the first three guys, and then I'm gonna do a wall cling with an on-landing gleaming blade so that I can dispatch all those guys. And here I let you add it because the rest there's a bit of movement, so you can go ahead.
All right. GDQ's next all women and femmes speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025, will be live from March 9th to the 16th, benefiting the National Women's Law Center. Visit gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more information on the event, or you can use !FF in Twitch chat to check out the schedule. Also, if you'd like to support GDQ Hotfix, check out the 2024 Season 4 shirt at theyeti.com/GDQ. And back to you, DGD.
So there we go. Now we're getting hunted by the army, which is kind of funny because go from fighting dinos and being in the underground to fighting military soldiers.
Lots of enemy variety. It's actually like, it's a good quality of the game, I would say.
Yeah, there is a lot of variety. And then also, if you notice, we're backtracking to an early section from a previous place that we were, which the first time we were here is in chapter 4. And now we're back in here in chapter 8. But obviously, we're going to go to a different area now because we got a key that will allow us to go for another section. And here I will show you the power of reuse boat.
Yeah.
You can shoot the helicopter like this and bye-bye helicopter.
Wow. That is a very powerful bow.
Yeah, it is a very powerful bow. He is not messing around with his bow. So once you dispatch the chopper, which we're also going to meet again later, we're going to put ourselves here. And I'm shooting a couple arrows just so I see where I'm shooting exactly, because there's not a guy that's going to spawn momentarily. There he is. And then we're gonna kill that guy. And then that's going to allow us to go to the next section. And here they're showing us a new bow, actually, that is stronger, that we're going to be getting in an instant. So here we're jumping through, and this is the area that I said that we're now getting access to later because we got the skull key in the underground. And then from here, we're going to grab the bow, which actually, funny enough, is called a strong bow. Not very original with the name, but hey, it is what it is. And then we're going to hit that target here after destroying the window. And then we're opening the door to the next section. And there's actually only 2 military chapter in this game. The one we just had now, and the next one, which was going to be kind of heavy on using the bow. But not a lot of people will like the bow in this game. The aiming can be a little bit awkward, I would say.
It is very hard.
Because it's an old game, so you don't have any sorts of sensitivity that you
There's
can
no
set.
lock on either.
Yeah.
Like,
no lock on.
Like,
so
I remember it being really hard.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not easy. It takes some getting used to. But basically, most of the section in this chapter are done with this. I'm also going to try to show because you have 2 skip in the next warehouse where we're getting into, but one is harder to do but saves more time. So I'm going to try to showcase the hard one because I think it's worth showing. So here we're going to dispatch those 2 gunners because one of them is actually dropping the key that we need to get in the warehouse. And here we're going to also grab the explosive arrow because we're going to use them in the next section. So here we're going to jump right here and we're going to equip the incendiary shuriken, and then there we go. I got it.
Nice.
That's actually a very hard skip. A very hard skip to do. It's much harder than the other skip that we used to do. That is more reliable, less risky, but doesn't save as much time. Also, something subtle here that I haven't mentioned at the beginning, because again, like there's so much stuff to say about this game, is that when I dropped, I don't know if you see the animation of Ryu kind of doing a superhero landing, but I menued, I equipped something else, and then it's a bit like I never jumped down, because that's how it works in this game, in the sense that when you do big jump, you don't take fall damage in this game, but Ryu will kind of do like a superhero landing, to soften up the landing. But in that case, if you switch weapon, you basically cancel the animation
that's interesting.
Of that landing. Yeah, so that's why in that case, when I equipped the explosive arrows for that fight at that specific spot, it was because of that. So here, I know that fight went really fast with the arrows, but yeah, dispatch all those guys in the middle with the arrow, and now we're fighting a tank with arrows again. But this time we're going to be getting a little bit stronger arrow. And those arrows are basically tank piercing arrow.
Well, the tank is a lot stronger than the helicopter that you fought earlier.
And then, there we go, dispatch the tank. But then, if that wasn't enough, they had a spare one. so they're thinking, hey, we're going to send another tank at it. It's never too much. So we're using the same thing. And the reason if I'm not getting hit is because by hiding behind that box like I am, the attack goes through the box. But in that case, I'm not going to risk it, because I would have got hit 100%. It also depends on the pattern, because sometimes instead of coming towards Ryu, he's going to go to the left side, which is the best pattern. He didn't give it to me in that case, but it was still like a really good fight. You just don't want to risk in that case if he goes for the one where he goes towards Ryu. You don't want to stay there static, because you're gonna take damage from that. And because now we're also not at full health, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this angle here to dispatch those guys. But I'm going to do a little trick that I call essence dragging. So you drag the essence without absorbing it for an attack. And in that case, you can heal him. So there is back our friend, the helicopter.
He got a little stronger. He added some armor, I guess.
Yeah, and this time, it's going to be a final fight between Ryu and the helicopter, and that fight went super well overall. That was a pretty much picture perfect fight there. So
seems like you're making up time for those time losses that we had earlier on.
yeah, the unfortunate one. Yeah, one was my fault entirely. The drop, I take that on me. The disc damage that was out of my control.
That's not your fault.
Yeah. So here, these guys at times can throw a grenade, and they haven't done it. Very lucky. I'm always like kind of, expecting the grenade. They haven't done it in that case. Yeah, bracing for impact. But the thing is that usually right now it was harder to hear, because usually I don't have my headset, so I can kind of hear the firing rate of those guys, and depend on how much they're shooting, I know basically if they're gonna throw a grenade or not, But in this case, I could not hear it properly, so I didn't know if they were gonna throw it or not. But luckily, they did not throw one, so that overall went really well. So now here, it's kind of silly backtracking, because you see me go down, open the door, then I'm going out the door, I'm going back up, and some people might be thinking, like, what is going on? It's because you have no choice to trigger that so that you can make this fight appear here, and then you can dispatch those 3 guys so you can grab the key card that you need to get under, sadly. So you have no choice to do that. But yeah, it's a bit of it's a bit of a weird section, I would say. So, and also I did use Inferno to dispatch those 3 guys because that's the easiest way to do it. And here, funny because the entry in that door went super well, but it's actually pretty hard to angle yourself straight when you get out of the door, because you have to push your joystick a certain direction specifically and then center at the right time and jump. And funny enough, that chapter just now was my best chapter ever, because before my best was like, I think, a 553 and I just did a 551.
Did you just gold it, or are you going by the chapter end screen?
I know the IGT, so I know the IGT on top of my head. So my best was a 553 IGT, and I just did a 551. So that was my best chapter ever, basically. Really good chapter overall. So here, if you're wondering what I'm doing, is that there's a timer in that area here, okay, for a certain amount of time on normal difficulty only, funny enough. And by doing what I'm doing right now, being at this specific spot, is that when the cutscene happened, Ryu is going to release the ultimate technique, and it's not going to hit anything, but it's just going to push him forward like this. And then after here, it's pretty much always the same movement to get into the manhole from that point.
I noticed you doing that on a cutscene earlier to push yourself further.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's pretty much how it works. Now we're getting in the chapter that's actually pretty long. We're in an aqueduct underground again. Some sort of underground. And here you got to kind of pay attention, because as you can see, it's a bit of a labyrinth in the sense that you have to go to a place back and forth in there. And because of that, sometimes it's easy to get lost and not remember, where you were, or confuse one section with another. So, like in that case, I'm gonna pay attention so I remember exactly where to go. But after we get this key, we're gonna go right here, and we're gonna fight the first boss worm. That's an electrical worm, and then in that case here, I'm not gonna try to go for the double ET it, because I didn't like my position, and I'm not gonna go for it either here. And at the end here, I could potentially try to go for it. Yeah, there we go. But I just wanted to have the essence. I feel like I was too much to the left, because there's a way, if you position yourself at the right spot, that when the worm comes down and you hold your joystick forward towards him and you release your essence technique at a specific time, that you can double connect with your ET, and it does big damage. And in that case, to give you an example, I finished the fight with 63-second time left. But if you hit with the double ET, you'll finish around 66. So it's about 2-3 seconds faster, depending on how it goes. But in this case, I went more for the safe strat, because I didn't like my positioning to do that strategy. So now we're using the tablet to drain the water in an area. And that's why I said there's a lot of going back and forth in this area, because we're going to go back to the beginning corridor, but now we're going to go to a different section. I'm also grabbing the third spirit of the devil, and it's going to be our last Nimpo slot in this run. So here, as you can see, going back in the corridor, and then I'm going to go all the way back up. And I'm going to be grabbing the statue right here that we're going to need for the next section. So now we're going back down again, and we're going to go to a little corner, if you want, of a path that can be easy to miss if you don't pay attention. So it's here, and then we're going to be placing the statue over here. And once we fall down here, we're going to also equip the explosive arrow, because we need them to explode a wall.
Did that cancel the land?
Yeah, that also canceled the animation. There you go. Yeah, paying attention. I see.
Yeah, good job. I'll be able to pass the test.
Yeah, for sure. No, but that's a good point. No, definitely that was exactly what I did there. So here we're gonna use the same strategy. In that case, he kind of trolled me and he trolled me down. Okay, we're not gonna risk it. We're just gonna heal. He goes for an extra one. That is really unfortunate
I
because
feel like you've
yeah,
had so many good boss fights. Like, you're
yeah,
bound to have something that doesn't
This
go
one
perfectly.
a bit trolly right now. I
I
do have to
imagine
say.
it's like really tough to get a run where everything goes well.
Yeah. Of course, yeah, no, 100%. Because there's always something that can happen that can throw off the run for sure. So I'm just gonna shoot one in that case, mainly because I don't want to just have one because I need to explode the wall after, and I don't want to risk it. And in that case, I went for the money because I was already having a bad boss fight. So I told myself if I'm gonna lose a bit of time, I might as well kill him with a UT. So it's like I'm gonna get more money. So potentially I could be able to buy the armlet of the sun in this chapter, which will boost a bit of our damage, and it should help us, I guess, kill boss like a tiny bit quicker than the usual.
Do you think I could get some announcements in here, TJ?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
No problem.
All right. Tune in to Speedruns 2025 from February 27th to March the 2nd, benefiting doctors of the world. Use !Speedons in chat to learn more. That's !Speedons. You can also join the official GDQ Discord and add the hotfix role, where you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. Use !Discord and Twitch chat for more info. And back to you, TGD.
Okay, yeah. So now I just destroyed the wall as I explained. That's why I equipped the explosive arrows in that section earlier. And that was preemptive menuing. And there's a lot of that in this run, actually. That's one thing I wanted to talk about earlier because there's three things in this run mostly that you do with this game, right? Is you have the movement, obviously, and the fighting, but you also have your menuing. And being effective in the menu is something that is very important in a speedrun like this. So here, I actually have a lot of money, so we're way over the amount. Usually, we barely have enough to. Sometimes we don't even have enough to buy the armlet of the sun. But now I bought it, and I still had 3,000 left. So we're good money wise. Shouldn't have to worry about money for the rest of the game if we play proper. So now another thing that I just upgraded is we upgraded the Lunar to level 3. Not only we're going to use Lunar for some of the upcoming boss fight, but you also absolutely need the Lunar to destroy the cavern wall in chapter 12 because there's only specific weapon that will be able to destroy that wall. And sadly, like sometimes, some player might think that you can any breakable wall you can destroy with explosive arrows and such, but it doesn't work like that. Explosive arrows and Cinder Shuriken are for certain wall, while some of the heavy weapon are for other walls. So here I'm gonna basically equip Fire Will. We're gonna go to Incendiary Shuriken, Armlet of the Sun, Lunar. Then we're gonna equip our Spirit of the Devil to get an extra Nimpo slot, and then we're gonna level up the Inazuma. And here I'm gonna do like a little cool skip that allows you to not have to go all the way around and swing over the tree branch. Here I'm gonna do a safety save just in case, because I would prefer not to lose my talisman against that guy. Because it's something I would like to keep till the end of the game to be able to showcase the last boss easier, if that makes sense. So, but this boss, Pazu, chapter 10 boss, can be a very annoying boss, depend on what he does. And of course, like right now, he's actually pretty annoying. But once you get down like this, you're going to trigger your fire wheel, and then you're going to combo on his head like this and canceling in shuriken throw. And then after, you're going to basically keep throwing incendiary shuriken on his head like this until he is dead.
What was that 50 that showed up on the screen? I don't know.
That
if
was
I've
the
seen that
combo.
before. Oh.
Yeah, that was the combo basically. Yeah. Because it reached 50 combo with all those cancel along with the fire wheel.
I guess I wasn't good enough at the game to get that to appear. So I'm like, what is that?
Well, I don't know though. Like getting eye combo depend on the circumstance in that game might not be that hard. It really depends what you do. Of course, in a live fight like this, in a boss fight, it can be a bit trickier. Funny enough, I usually don't pay attention to when I'm getting those combos. You know, on the boss fight anyway. But yeah, I don't think it has anything to do though with being bad, not being able to do it. I just think it's like circumstances, you know, and like specific fight, I guess, that where you can potentially do that. So here is the most entertaining chapter of this run.
Lots of
the water chapter, and so basically for the I'm mentioning because there's going to be a 5-minute break. Coming soon after this chapter, I'm going to call it once we finish the boss.
Okay.
And we're
Sounds
at
good.
the end of the chapter menu. Like I'll say when to pause so we can kind of restart from that section.
Okay. Do you mind if I get some more announcements in while you're
No, you can go ahead. No problem. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. If you missed out on any of our Hotfix shows or events like Back to Black, you can be sure to check out the VODs channel on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. Also, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel to get access to our emotes and chat with other subscribers during our replays. And back to you, TGD.
So now I'm continuing the swim. Basically just a swimming chapter in here. So there is an oxygen tank on the right of that section here.
I was about to ask about that.
But we don't. We pretty much ignore it in the speed run because you don't need it. You need a certain amount of elixir to be able to do the swim of death that I like to call it, and then this saves a good amount of time because going to get that oxygen tank with the little drones that you have to kill is very costly on the time. You know, it costs a lot of time.
Yeah.
So
this is like the one skip that I know about in this game is this not taking the oxygen tank.
Yeah, pretty much. So here we do that whole section, and then we're gonna basically use one heal, and if I can, I hope I manage to do it. If not, like if I finish before the time, I can always show it real quick at the end for those interested. But after I'm done with that section, there is a little out of bound.
Really?
That can happen, and it saves a little bit of time. It saves also a couple of menu. And it's in a kind of like a direct path with the boss. So hopefully I managed to do it. If not, as I say, if I finish before, I can always showcase it real quick because I do have a practice save.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any out of bounds for this game. That's cool.
In that area, yeah. So it's in the next. Yeah, there's not a lot because there is out of bound in this game, but all the other out of bound will soft lock you the way it's designed. Yeah, it just soft lock you because this game, how it works is that it can't progress if you don't load the next section or it doesn't load the next area properly. So because of that, it will you will either see a black screen or a white screen, and then you will not be able to do anything, sadly.
I see. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. And even this next one, before we found like a proper way to do it, we could also soft lock, so but I do have a save at the boss if that would happen by bad luck or something. I mean, I did have a disc damage, so I'm gonna try to do it. It's coming up soon, so let's see if I can get it. So there you go. Now we're taking a little turn here, and then we're going down in that area because we're basically going to the same point that we would otherwise. It's just we skip through entire section, and as you can see here, it loads. It's also very important in that section to remember to heal up, because the talisman will not trigger when you're in the water like this. So if you die from your health depleting all the way, you're done. There's nothing you can do, and this is a game over, sadly. So here, by having done that, we skip to a section, make less menu, we get to the next boss, that is Doku, and we're gonna use the Lunar also on him. And if you notice, the Lunar is often the same combo that we use on bosses, because it's just a very quick combo, very short recovery, and it's just very useful time-wise against those bosses. So that was a very good chapter overall.
Nice.
Not my best, but in a real run, for example, if I did a run, a sub 6 minute IGT like this is very good. So that was very good chapter overall.
Okay.
Yeah, very good.
All right, so I guess this is a good time to
Here you go.
pause.
You can pause it here. Yeah, you can pause it here. It's fine.
Everyone, we are going to take a short 5-minute or so break. So if you need to go get a snack, use the bathroom, take care of yourself, this is a good time to get up, stretch, do whatever you need to do. But we'll be right back. TGD is going to. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking with us through the break. I hope you have taken care of yourself. We have TGD still running Ninja Gaiden Black. So go ahead and take it away.
All right, well, we're going to continue the run. I'm going to give a countdown and press start and continue the timer. So 3, 2, 1, go. So now we get in this chapter, and I'm going to basically use movement skip here to skip this entire puzzle section, because Ryu does not have time to do puzzles. And again, we gotta fight fiends. So we're skipping this entire section. And I would appreciate if people could let us know if the sound is fine now, because it should be proper.
It sounds a lot better when I was listening to it.
It should sound proper now. So now we're also going to be grabbing those great elixir, because we've used some obviously for the swim, and now that's also the reason why I re-equipped the Lunar. It's for what I mentioned earlier when I said the cavern wall, you need a heavy weapon to destroy it. So in this case, the Lunar, and then we're going to switch back to the Dragon Sword for the movement in this chapter. Now, interesting enough, I would say chapter 12 and 14, so this chapter and chapter 14 are, I think, the two hardest chapter when it comes to movement specifically. Not necessarily like the hardest chapter, but just movement-wise, those chapters have a lot of specific and hard movement section that you really need to know what you're doing, and cool little skip also that I'm gonna hopefully be able to showcase and I will not miss in this run. But so far I've been able to showcase some of the cool stuff, like the one cycle Hydra 2, the alternate skip warehouse. So we got got the good stuff in. So
I will
here
say
is one that I just missed right here in the cavern. I just missed it, but we're going back to it. So
Okay.
I should be able to get it the second time around. And it's subtle, by the way, the time that it saves, but it does save a little bit of time. So here, another tablet we're grabbing. Then we're also grabbing the iron ore because we need 4 of them. Yeah, 4 of them to be able to put in a cauldron to get another item. Again, there's a lot of back and forth in this chapter again. Not as much as chapter 10, but still a good bit. So here, going in the lava intentionally, we're taking damage. And here we're gonna do a cool skip so we don't have to go all the way around and we can reach that area right away. Like otherwise, when I turn my camera, you'll see a little bit that there's a path that takes you all the way around that area, much slower, but with that skip, we're just skipping that right away. You can see here, there's something you can go on to the right side there, and that's the regular path. And same here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a quick double wall run so that we can skip that next section also. And then we're gonna be backtracking where we're gonna be fighting another boss. And once again, we're gonna use the good old Lunar. It's funny because when you do get the Lunar, a lot of the upcoming boss, you're fighting them with the Lunar. So this boss called Jotunfrau, which is kind of like a Yeti, we're gonna be fighting with the same combo. You know, as I say, combo is useful. We're using it. So here he does for his icy breath. Then we're just gonna dodge that, and here we go. We got rid of him. Now here I'm gonna equip the dragon sword because hopefully I managed to show the skip on top in the cavern this time around. Would be cool. If not, again, it's relatively short. I can always showcase it after the run because there's a save nearby too, so it's really easy. But usually it's right here like this. There we go.
Cool. So is the dragon sword usually like the best weapon to have equipped for movement?
It depends. It depends where. Most of the time it will be. We're just gonna do a quick heal just in case. But most of the time it will be for a certain movement. But there's some, for example, if you remember chapter 10, just before the boss, I did use the Lunar for one of the skip. That is a bit better in that case. But yeah, a lot of the time to reach further area, we're gonna use the dragon sword for the skipping. That is a good observation. So now here, we're gonna grab Great Devil. Those Great Devil refill your entire Nimpo slot, and we should basically be full at that point with that one that we just got, obviously. Okay, this is kind of unlucky because he can do like a couple of different patterns, but he went for the one where he projectiles. So there's not much we can do in that case. We're just gonna wait that he comes back. It's just we always lose time when he decides to go for projectile like this. And a funny thing to mention actually about this is that worm, funny enough, is Ring of Fire is actually easier to dodge on Master Ninja because it is faster. So when you do the on landing jump, it usually go right past you because of how fast it is. But on normal, because the speed is a bit slower, it can be actually harder to time than on Master Ninja. So,
interesting.
Yeah. So here we're gonna use again the Lunar. And we're gonna be fighting the boss of chapter 12, which is Smogan, and it's a big dragon. Yeah, Smogan. It's a big dragon, and we're gonna actually go at a certain point, not right at the beginning, but we're actually gonna go in the lava on purpose to fight that guy because it is the quickest way to do it. So here we go in the lava. So we take damage intentionally, but you still gotta be careful, like in the way that if he does those attack here, the shockwave and such, it's very easy to take damage from the shockwave and then fall in the lava. And in that case, it's a massive damage you receive, so it's very easy to lose your talisman in that case. And also here, the time is normal because we have the break and the IGT doesn't stop in this game when you're on the start button. So it makes sense.
That was not your best segment right there.
No, that was not my best segment. That was. No, roughly to give you an idea, here it was a 13, but usually a good segment is going to be a sub 7 IGT. You know,
that tells us how long our break was right there.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. So now we're actually in. I don't know if you have other announcement to do.
Yeah, I can do it.
Because if you do this is like right now, this is a pretty calm section before the storm. Like pretty much the most annoying boss in the game. So if you want, go ahead.
Sure. All right. Go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to check out the season schedule and check out the schedule for an in-depth look at this week's runs. You can also check out GDQ's International Transgender Day of Visibility Celebration, a weekend highlighting transgender speedrunners on March 29th and 30th. Use !transvisibility in Twitch chat for more info. And back to you. That's all the announcements I have.
Yeah, there we go. So now we're as you can see, we're in the chapter 10 area. And we're backtracking all the way into the city because now the tablet that we grabbed in the lava area in chapter 12 is basically the last piece of the tablet that you need. And if you recall, in chapter 4 at the beginning, there was a big serpent-like statue in the middle of the city. And we're going to go back there because when you get the tree tablet and you activate that area, it activates a portal that will teleport you to other section of the game that we also already went through. And it's funny because there's a bit of nostalgia when you go back to this in this game because of that, like the back and forth.
Yeah.
It shows you some area, but then different time and all of that. So, and after we're fighting pretty much the most annoying boss in the game, the most annoying and hardest boss in the game, I would say for sure.
It's too bad there's no some kind of skip to just avoid. I feel like you do all this stuff just to get this one item to put into the serpent statue, but there's so much of the game that you could just avoid if you just had that item.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that would actually be crazy if you.
Yeah, it would be such an enormous amount of time save if you could just go there immediately.
But then, do you also have the same weapon? Did you manage to do all the upgrades?
True. Well, then you just have to get good, you know.
Yeah. You just have to adapt. No, it's true. You do.
Yeah.
So now here with this portal, look where we are. We're back.
Oh, we're all the way back.
The village in chapter 2. But now, instead of going back on the bridge where we previously fought Masacado, we're gonna go on top here in the graveyard. And here on this tombstone, there's gonna be a jewel that you're not gonna see in the cutscene, but that Ryu places on his sword, and now he has the true dragon sword. That is basically the strongest, well, not the strongest, but one of the strongest item in the game. And because I have a talisman and I do have a save at that boss, I'm just gonna go for it, feeling confident. And this boss,
I remember this now.
This boss is Awakened Alma, and this is this wonderful boss here. And then there's actually way to re-knock her like this, and then you can cancel your shuriken for more damage. And that was like
Wow.
pretty damn good Awakenama.
That seemed fine.
Yeah, that was
Like,
a
it didn't
very
seem
good
that bad.
Awakenama. I'm glad I was able to showcase such a good Awakenama because she can troll a lot, that boss. So that went very well overall. That was like a pretty much a picture perfect Awakenama, but it's the same as I said for Alma earlier. Awakenama is the same in the sense that it will really not always go like this in a run. You know, like you wish it went like that every time, but it doesn't, sadly. So now here we're fighting Pill Bugs, and because there was very generous with the Nimpo over here, I can actually use the Nimpo to dispatch them quicker, but I also won a bit of money, so I'm going to be doing a bit of ultimate technique in that case here too.
Don't we all want a little bit of money?
Yeah, right? A little bit more money that never hurts anyone. So there you go. There's 30 total, and then after this you're going to the other side, and then you're going to grab that item that you're going to put back in the next room, and then you're going to fight another 30 right here, and then that's going to be at the end of this chapter. And right now, because we got so many drop, I don't really have to worry about not nimpoing. I'm just probably gonna just do one UT on the wave, but the rest of the time I'm just gonna nimpo. So, and even here they gave me an extra one, so I can technically nimpo till the very end, because we're gonna refill right now, and they give me another one after, which is crazy actually. I wish they gave me that much in a run. Because I really want to say that doesn't happen often, that amount of info. That was just
I feel like you've had like the game is just making up for all the
the troll
the time losses in the beginning by giving you like such a ridiculous amount of good luck later on.
Yeah. But that was a very good chapter overall. I don't know what that's gonna be, but usually under a 7-minute IGT is like really good. And well, usually at the level that I play, it would like a 640 under would be extremely good. So I don't know, 630, and that was literally my best, because my best before was a 631.
That's best.
So I beat my best like by 1 second. I'm really surprised actually that I got such a good chapter, because I want to give in perspective for those that don't know, but I literally have over 5,000 reset in that game, you know, so it's rare at that point that I rainbow. So to rainbow,
that's 2 segments that you did
to rainbow on the run like this, I'm very surprised. I'm glad I'm able to show it though, but cool. I'm just gonna say it though, it's really not me in the sense that I played those chapters good, but the game gave me the right RNG of that.
Well, you executed it properly.
Yeah, so for sure.
You know, give yourself some credit, but it is like
exactly. Yeah, but really, really good chapter. Nothing to complain about. So here, we're just going to be spamming Nympho, and we're going to see if we do get a drop. If we don't get a drop, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. And there we go. We get a drop, because in that case, if you don't get a drop, you just refill. But because I didn't have to, now I'm just gonna equip my dragon sword, and because I'm near the chest right away, because the chests always spawn at the same spot, like in front of Ryu if you're at the center. So if you don't move from there at the beginning, you're pretty much always gonna be at that chest. So we're refilling the elixir of Devil Way, and then we're just gonna refill the small elixir mainly. It's mainly for the last boss, because the last boss, surprisingly, for those that don't know, we'll see when we get there. I'm not going to spoil it. I would be surprised if people don't know the last boss is by that point in time, you know, but I'm going to wait for it there. But that boss, it can basically be really, really bad, in the sense that it's at the very end of the game, and the stuff that he can do, like it deals insane amount of damage. And I had run die at the very end because of that boss, you know. So that's why also when I say that when you're speedrunning certain games, sometimes you might have a spot in the game where you're thinking, oh, I'm off the difficult section, so I'm done, you know. Well, in that game, it's not done until
you finish it.
The exactly, you beat the final boss. And also, I'll call it a bit before, but I will say it right now because there's a bit of movement. Is that how it works with the timer? Usually, we stop it as soon as we give the last hit to the boss. Like the screen will become like white, and that's when the time stops. So, but I'll mention it when we're there. It's fine. So right now, also those fish are really annoying. But with what I'm doing on landing jump, a bit like I did for the spike earlier, this allows you to be able to kind of skip them so they don't bite you, and it's actually really useful.
Yeah, those enemies are super annoying.
Yeah, a lot of people hate them, and I can't blame people for hating them because before I knew how really to deal with them, you know, I thought they were a really annoying enemy, you know.
I'll have to keep that in mind next time I play.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. I mean, if you ever play again, let me know, and I'll gladly help you out for sure.
Share some tips.
Yeah, for sure, no problem. I always like to see new people play that game. And here, actually, Doku trolled me, and he went with a sword throw, and he got me my talisman. But it's fine because, again, we have a bunch of heal. It's just now I'm not going to be able to play the last boss as risky, and I'm definitely going to have to save before to not take any chances. You know?
That's a little bit of a time loss because of the animation that plays.
Yeah, you do actually. You lose roughly 4 or 5 seconds, I would say, to that animation. Yeah, you do. And he was a troll. He was a troll in that case. It's not on me. Like the pattern that he gave me was just absolute troll, because usually when you play aggressive, he's gonna go for a hit close by, and in that case, instead of going for a hit, he went for the sword throw. And because I'm in a gleaming blade animation, his entire sword throw just hits me, you know, and there's nothing I can do about it. So, yeah.
I guess it's better than actually dying, though. Having the
no, for sure. Yeah, 100%. But that's why I didn't go too crazy there, because I knew I had it. Of course, I would have still preferred to keep it for the end, but I'm gonna save anyway at the end on the last chapter and on chapter 15, because I want to show I want to showcase something at the end of this chapter on the boss. Even though Gala did showcase it actually at the end of the run back then. I checked it and she did showcase it, but I still want to show it.
Shout out to Gala Serini.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Gala. Yeah. All right, so now we're entering the core, and remember when I told you guys earlier to remind me of the statue? That's the place where you start placing the statue. So if you don't have that statue, you get here, and then the game tells you, hey, I'm sorry, you cannot progress, so you do not have the statue. And then, like, obviously you have to backtrack, you know, and go grab it, but it's such a waste of time. So in this chapter, it's pretty much Nimpo spam frenzy. We're just gonna spam Nimpo to dispatch those guys, and it's gonna be the same pretty much at every floor. Of course, you still gotta be careful on the amount of Nimpo you spend, because you can use them pretty freely, but you also don't want to, use them too much at the same time, because you could potentially not have enough, and it still rely on getting dropped. So technically, for me to be able to use my Nimpo properly in that chapter, I would like to have at least 3 drop. But the thing is that with this game, there's time where you get 0 drop in the entire chapter, and that's entirely RNG. So there's not much I can do if it happens. I hope not. But
isn't this like also isn't there like a challenge mode for this? Like area in the game?
Yeah. There is in mission mode. It's called Eternal Legend, and yeah, it's the same. It's basically the same area.
I remember doing that. Like
that ultimate technique is actually really.
Ago.
Yeah, it's a really cool ultimate technique. Really nice, and it also deals a lot of damage. Okay. There we go. So now we're gonna head to the third floor, and you see here we're doing the same thing as I said, going up the elevation.
Touching you at all.
We're just doing on landing jump. So here, preferably, we want to hit the black crab because the black crab is the most tanky and is the most important one to hit out of all those guys. And in this case, I was kind of unlucky again because that lad guy spawned behind the tree here in the middle, and that's entirely RNG. you have no idea where those guys is going to spawn, and in that case, he just decided, hey, I'm going to spawn behind that tree here so you cannot hit me with your nimble. And then that's why after I went for a gleaming blade, because that's the quickest way to dispatch. And here, I don't know what's happening. It just won't let me go in. Come on, let me go in.
This is
no. I'm not gonna die from that
experience
game.
That I remember. Right here.
I'm not gonna die from that game. Don't troll me. I don't know why I didn't go back in though, because I did my swing and I saw the interact button, but then I feel like my direction is because when you press the interact button, it's not just pressing it weirdly enough, because one might think that it's just that you see the X, press the X, but the game, what it doesn't tell you, and it lies a little bit, is that you have to press in the direction of the door, you know? So in that case, I did press my joystick, but I probably pressed in an angle that was not the angle that the game wanted for me to get in, and because of that, I ended up getting bit, you know, and going back there pretty much.
The normal experience.
So we also got no drop. I think we got 0 drop of red, sadly. So there is fight that we're gonna have to do a bit different. We're not gonna be able to spam Nimbo as we would. Okay, we got 1 drop here. 1 drop. Okay, 1 drop. Not the best, but 1 drop is 1 drop. We'll take it. We'll take it.
My servants returned from the
Okay, so now Hydra Cubes again. Yeah, third time. Here, we can't do it in 1 cycle, but we can do it in 2 cycles if we do the proper combo. So usually it's going to be XY into Gleaming Blade twice. Into Gleaming Blade, and if you check his life bar, that's roughly half his HP, so that's why that specific combo to be able to 2 cycle that boss. So here I'm going to repeat the same thing, XY, and then we're going to finish with a little gleam here, and then I'm going to have to pay attention also to how much Nimbo I have here left. I'm actually gonna press start check. So okay, I have this. All right, so this means in this case I'm gonna have to do 2 wave without casting Nimbo, because I absolutely need an extra one for this guy that you see on top. It's called Marbus, and you absolutely need that to loop him out. So we're just gonna do counter attack on those guys to dispatch them real quick, and then we also see a second time our friend Jotunfrau. Jotunfrau is back, and it's gonna be the same thing this time. The only difference is he has more HP, but it's the exact same thing. And this combo here that he does, it's pretty much the best combo that you want, because when he does that, it allows you to get a bunch of hidden, and it's just really good. When he does that though, the ice spike, as speedrunner, this is pretty much the thing that you don't want him to do, because he's invulnerable while doing it. and it usually costs roughly 4 to 5 seconds per ice spike that he does. So, but it's out of your control. There's not much you can do. So now here, Marbus, we'll see what he does, because the best case scenario is you actually want him to throw his fireball and come down towards you. Let's see, and there we go. And then you cast this, and after that we're gonna do a menu for later. So we need this, and we're gonna equip Fire Wheel, and then we're gonna do XXXY. And because we did that Nimbo, we're gonna keep him in the loop like this until we get to kill him. And then once he's low enough, I would say about here, we're just gonna do a Gleaming Blade like this to finish him off so that it's quicker. But the reason why this boss can be really frustrating is that this time it didn't take too long, but there's time where he's gonna spawn enemy and just not come down. And in that case, if he doesn't dive down, you cannot loop him, and it just, if you're having a good run and that happened, you can pretty much say goodbye to your PB.
Well, that's a cool strat though, that you can just like stun lock him essentially.
Yeah, for sure. And here, just before this, I'm actually just gonna put a safety save just in case I mess it up. Hopefully I don't mess it up, but just in case, because it's a short section and I don't want to have to reload it. So we're gonna save here.
Okay, so we're in chapter 15.
Because exactly, we're at the end anyway of this run, so I'm not gonna risk it. And also, from what I've seen though of the time, because I'm used to the time right now, if I'm removing getting this damage in chapter 4, that would have been definitely like easily over 1 hour 40 minutes, which was my goal on the stream. I put a 10-minute over just in case, because again, I know how this game can go. But yeah, so it's very good overall. So now we have Emperor 1, which is that big, I don't know actually what it is really, but this big thing that has those beam move that they do a lot of damage, but then we're just gonna use Gleaming Blade basically to get rid of everything. And there you go, we destroyed everything. And then here, this is what I wanted to kind of showcase, is that boss, you can go in the lava like this, and then if you angle yourself right, you can shoot and then kill it one shot, like this.
That is a really good bow.
Yeah, that is a very good bow.
Has been so impressive the whole run.
Yeah. It is. It came in clutch many times, eh? Yeah, it is a good weapon for sure. So now we're at the last chapter.
All right.
So you'll see when I get to the last boss. But basically when I give the last hit and you see the white screen, that's gonna be when we press the button. And we're gonna have to be careful because again, he does a lot of damage, and I did lose my tally previously, so we're gonna play it careful. So here, what I just did there, that's basically not playing it careful at the end, doing that skip. That's a cool little skip that I wanted to showcase. Saves about like 1 or 2 seconds. It's not a big deal. But again, when you get to like, you push your time enough in that game, it becomes that every little second can make a difference. So I kind of wanted to showcase it because it's also a cool movement.
The movement in this game is really cool.
Yeah, it is really good for sure.
Does it feel like super satisfying to pull it off?
Yeah.
Final boss.
Okay, I'm gonna heal. No, you're not going for a grab, mister. And there you go. That's time.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice. GG.
That's it. that was the run for Ninja Gaiden Black on normal difficulty. And yeah, if it wasn't for the disc damage, that would have definitely been like, I don't know if that would have, because how much time did that cost me actually? You think the reset?
I don't know. At least 2 minutes, maybe 3 or 4.
Right.
It's hard. I wasn't really paying like close attention, but it felt like a lot. Like that run back through like the climbing across the thing and back
no, but that's why I think it did cost like a good bit of time. And not only that, I had to reset the game. You know.
Like true. Yeah. It was more than just that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but overall, I'm very happy with this run. I would have done roughly like a 137, 138. That's what I wanted to do, showcase the run proper on the marathon. So I hope everyone enjoyed the run. And also anyone interested in running this game, like feel free to, ask me anything, because I always like to help new runner with this game. So like as I said, anyone interested in this run, let us know. We're a very friendly community. So feel free to ask for help whenever. All right. So do you want to give yourself your shout outs and all that? Oh, well, me, yeah, for sure. But it was mostly to showcase the game. I'm just glad you guys had me over here. I was just glad to be part of the event. And as I said, too, if at some point you're interested in possibly me coming back to do it on Master Ninja, I will happily return. I had a good time. So, but yeah. And me, for those interested, I usually stream on the weekend mostly now, because I work full-time during the week. So, the weekend we do a few run every now and then for those interested. But yeah, thank you very much for having me. And also all the tricks that I wanted to show, I didn't manage to show them, because I wanted to show the out of bound. If I didn't get it, I got the one shot. So I showed pretty much all the cool tricks. So I'm happy I was able to do that, and I'm happy I was able also to do under the estimated time, so that you guys can continue, without a slowed down schedule, I would say.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Run was really cool, and it was cool to see you get some even some gold splits there on some really good RNG on a few of those boss fights. Really, really sick run. If you ever get derusted on Master Ninja, we'd love to see that. But this game by itself, with just played on normal difficulties, totally worthy of being featured on Game Over, because this is a brutal game. This is one of the hardest. This is the first really, really difficult 3D game ever played. We were talking about this before the show. I'll never forget my experience playing this as a kid and how brutally difficult it was for me.
If you ever want to go back to it, have an easier time, let me know. I'll gladly help you for sure.
There's some cool tricks I'd like to try out next time I play.
Good.
That'll be all for the Ninja Gaiden Black portion of the show today. But stay tuned, because we're going to have another run after this of a shoot 'em up from, I think, 2017 called Nex Machina. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Game Over. I hope y'all enjoyed the Ninja Gaiden Black run before, but we are back with a different run. We're going to be running this game called Nex Machina, which may not have heard of before, but it's a really cool shoot 'em up from 2017. But we have the runner here, Asuka, that knows way more about the game than me. So take it away, Asuka. Tell us about the game, about your run.
Hi, this feels weird. I feel like I'm on the wrong day here. I'm Asuka424. We're doing a shoot 'em up or shmup called Nex Machina, Death Machine, which when you translate the Latin of Nex Machina, we're literally playing Death Machine, Death Machine. We're going to be doing this, look it up. Knowing is half the battle, so on and so forth. This is one of those rare runs where I don't usually yap too much during it, which is why I have brought a commentator with me, and that is somebody that has also played this game and run it a little bit. So, commentator. introduce yourself.
Who's the commentator? I don't know who we're talking about. Oh, that's me. Sorry. Hi, everyone. I'm Dangerous. I am one of the only people that run this game as well, which is why I'm here to talk incessantly about it while Oscar runs it, because there's like almost nobody else that does. We are the
So you saved like two other people?
Yeah, the number of people that run this game, there are ones of us, entire ones of us that run this game. Yeah. So
if there's one thing I'm known for, it's playing games that like 6 people have heard of and 4 people have played.
Honestly, this game is really cool. I'm surprised that it didn't get super popular in some way.
Well, honestly, what I, as a console peasant and prefers console runs over PC runs, love about this game is that it's available on PS4, PS5, and PC. The console is faster than PC.
I did not realize that.
Yes!
Hold on, checking my notes.
That's how I have it.
A pile of garbage.
Okay, well, I speedrun Dark Souls, so, I'm used to that.
So, yeah, I just had to get that out there. Like I said, we're going to get started. We're doing experience difficulty. Time is a little bit wonky how it both starts and ends. I'm pretty much be dead silent by the time we get to the ending point, but the start is going to be, like I warned our wonderful producer Richard, shout out to Richard in chat right now, or as I said on Tuesday, F in chat for Richard. We're going to get started just when I say go, because it's kind of hard to time it. So let's make bad decisions. All right, ready and go.
Let's go.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty much the longer I play in this game, the quieter I'm going to get. So I'm going to talk as much as I can right now so I don't have to later on. This is a shoot 'em up by Housemarque, and if you've heard of the dev Housemarque, you have totally heard of the game that is my favorite game from them, which is Resogun. Not really. You have probably heard of Returnal.
Oh, really?
That's the same dev. Yep, this is the dev.
Make Returnal, make this. Okay.
Before they made Returnal, they focused on homages to classic games.
Like Bionic Commando,
and
right?
It's more like Super Smash TV, really? Actually. But yeah, I can see a bit of Bionic Commando in here. I'm playing very cautiously right now, but it's a series. It's basically the type of shmup is arena shooter. So I'm going to be going from room to room. That's a little bit of a manipulation right there to get enemies to spawn faster. Yes, there is speed tech in a shmup. Don't get used to it. But also, really quickly, Dane, did you want to explain those dashes I'm doing at the end of the levels?
All those pink lasers that you see on the like throughout the levels, those lasers obviously hurt you, but if you dash through them, you get enough iframe protection to get through. Well, developers, classic arcade style game here, decided to design things so that if you dash during a very small window at the end of the level, you'll actually transition from room to room about a second faster every time you do it. And so because we travel through so many rooms in the game, just landing all of the end level dashes saves about a minute over the course of the whole run.
And I am very mad because I inadvertently lost my shield, which it's not a big deal, but I'll take it. It's unfortunate, but that just means I won't be at full power. I do have triple dash. Okay. I won't be at full power after this one. So it's either shield or weapon spread that I need.
So what is the difference between the higher difficulty levels for this game?
Well, there are... Rookie is kind of the basic one. It's the slowest. And it is honestly a category all its own because Rookie only has 5 worlds. Everything above Experienced has 6. And there is... I almost ran to the Disruptor because this game, I do silly things during it. There's... for those that don't know I'll start with saying, if you once you see this game on experienced or above, you will fight the true final boss of the game, which a 1cc is a 1 credit clear. Basically, I do not see the game over screen during the run. Now, hold on, this is kind of a tricky room to not get hit in. There we go.
Yeah, this is a room that is a very specific route that you can actually clear this entire room in about 7 seconds if you manage to land the shots at the right angle, but it's a little bit precise to pull it off.
There are so many disruptors. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so and things are faster. There's more enemies, so on and so forth. Enemy health is about the same. But while we're fighting, we're actually at the first world boss. I picked up in the shmup, you wouldn't think to pick up a melee weapon, but I picked up the sword. Dane, would you like to explain to them the sword and why it's so important here?
Yep. Our first boss here, Beamtron, is the only boss that's actually static the entire time. He just simply rotates on that axis where you're standing.
That's
took
fine.
a hit. And because he stands still, the melee weapon is actually really useful because Asuka's coupling Dash Explosion, which is one of the power-ups you picked up, to dash through him and use some of the proxy damage from the dash in order to deal big damage to him. At the same time, she's also slashing with the sword to do big damage. You saw his health bar just get chunked down. That's because of that sword being used in coupling with that Dash Explosion. It is the only time we're ever going to use sword, because in the very next room, she's going to pick up Power Shot, my beloved, again. And we're never going to see sword ever again. We're only going to see either rocket launcher or laser being used on all the boss fights from here on out.
Yeah, and what's actually kind of tricky about this is the power-ups will appear in the power-up boxes in a random order. So that's why I don't immediately go for the weapon as soon as I pick it up, because I don't know what weapon is going to give, or what the box is going to give me. So I kind of have to wait to see what number it is.
It has infinite pierce range, and so it will just hit everything in its pathway.
Like
and it
right
also
now.
has a massive AoE that surrounds the players. So there's a few times where you'll see Asuka, like right there, will fire it off while she's just standing next to it.
And one of the biggest troubles is learning. I broke you. That's fine. Learning the timing, because it's a charged shot, so you have to wait till the target lines up, like right there. See, as soon as it turns green, I know I can shoot it. So I'm very much tempting fate a lot of times when I'm using power shot. So I'm letting it go the moment I can, which normally is fine when I time it perfectly. When I don't time it perfectly, I either lose my shield, or if I don't have a shield, I end up dying. So that's the thing. And you just kind of learn to deal with it. This room is actually pretty easy. Like I said, there's a little bit of manipulation, words are hard, to go through the different areas. Here, it's a hair faster to clear the bottom enemies as they spawn, and then hover up top to get the rest of them.
Yeah.
Now, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, the nice thing about that room in particular is once you clear out certain enemies, this is actually the case in this room as well, where once you kill certain trigger enemies, the rest of the floor kind of spawns in, and that's when you can really take advantage of Power Shot reaching across the entire arena, because you can hit an enemy from literally completely across the entire room and be able to clear an entire horde that way. So that's the reason why hovering at the bottom of the arena is really nice. You can kind of hit everything with your regular pistol shot and then sub-weapon everything at the top of the arena. It's a nice little way to save just a few seconds here and there.
Oh, I hate disruptors.
Yeah.
Ah!
Disruptors are a bit of a pain.
They're not required. They're just there to make you sad.
Yep. Yeah,
I did get the speed kill.
Yeah, disruptors are one of the kind of optional enemies. They spawn and they don't actually attack you. They run away from you, but you get big points if you get them. And obviously in the speed run, we don't care about point totals. We just care about, speed. And so disruptors really just get in the way more than anything else. There's another enemy that you'll notice that has kind of spawned in, which is like a snake-like enemy called the Visitor. And those are another one that is optional, but it's sometimes actually faster to clear it out. And this is Yeti Kong, and Yeti Kong dies very quickly to laser. That's why you saw Oscar pick up the laser.
Shout out to Oops All Kong, because
Shout out to
Oops All Kong is about to be Oops All Gone.
Yeah. Yeti Kong is basically a wall fight where he just kind of bounces around at the top of this wall, and Oscar's doing this way better than I can. I typically screw this up somehow, some way, but she's like using laser and dash explosioning into Yeti Kong, and that's how she gets this dude to pop right open. So very nice.
As long as I got the Oops All Kong, Oops All Gong, I was happy. Don't mind me. I'm here for the memes. Also, so you notice I lost my shield again because I tried to be a little bit too cute. I'm gonna get my power shot back. So, hold on a second. There we go. You'll notice when I don't have full power. So if you look at the bottom right or bottom left, because directions are hard, the bottom left of my screen, there are 5 little like wedges, and I just got the shield again. So lo and behold, I am at full power, which is cool because now I have 5 things of bullets instead of 3. And I'm just generally more powerful and more awesome. Accent on the more powerful, not so much the more awesome.
Mm-hmm. I think you're pretty awesome.
Nah, I'm okay.
But yeah, that power buff that you get when you have all the items, all the power-ups equipped. Basically, there's 5 power-ups. You get the shield, obviously, but then there's also weapon spread, weapon range, dash explosion, and triple dash. And when you have all 5 power-ups, each of them gets enhanced a little bit more. So you get a little bit more damage from the dash explosion. You get a little bit more range out of the weapon range. You get a little bit more spread out of the weapon spread. And so you just kind of get a little bit more powerful overall if you have all of the power-ups active. The moment she takes a hit, though, and she has only 4 out of the 5 power-ups, you're going to notice that her weapon spread drops down. She's only going to have 3 bullets in that weapon spread range. And the range isn't going to be quite as far. Oh, this is the COVID room, by the way. We call this
you call it COVID room. I call it the room of social distancing.
I call it the COVID room because you can't get 6 feet away from anything in this room.
Yeah. Actually, there was one room where there are certain rooms where if you look like I am actively not aiming a certain direction, there's a specific reason why, and that is the fun secret exits. Hold on a second. My dash is, all right. Would you like to explain why, if I see secret exit found, I'm going to get very sad?
Yes, I would love to, because I have seen secret exit found many times and have also been sad. So again, this is an arcade style game, and so the point is maximum score. And so the Housemarque developers put in these little arcade cabinets in different levels, and if you shoot the arcade cabinet, it'll get you a bonus secret level that you can run through in order to increase
that cabinet right there in the left.
But yeah, but speedrunners don't like the extra levels. We want to go speedily, so we have to avoid those. And I for one have never accidentally shot a secret level cabinet and then added multiple minutes to my run. That's never happened. And if anybody tells you it has happened, they are in fact lying. And I would like to know who they are, please. Thank you.
So. Yeah, so getting those secret exits, 100% rite of passage as a Nex runner. Like, do you see this cabinet to the left? Do you see that blue thing?
It's just there.
Yes, I do see it.
It is
there.
Yeah.
It's a
I mean,
there's
with how much you're shooting, I imagine it's very easy.
No,
to just,
oh yeah.
Some of them
is it just
100%.
one bullet? Just one bullet, like triggers it?
some of them you have to hit them a few times to actually break it.
Yeah, it's one power attack,
Yeah.
but a few bullets. Like you'll see these rainbow like confetti sparks, and that's your oh crap. Maybe I should stop shooting where I'm shooting right now.
Yeah.
Which in turn you continue to shoot exactly where you're shooting.
Yep. I mean, I never did that, but like other runners definitely did that at some point. Yes, that is true.
100% me. So one thing Housemarque loves doing in both Resogun and Nex is, I need to get rocket launcher. Okay, we're fine. Is they love making the third boss the RNG boss.
Yep.
So we're at the third world, and this is the third boss. This is Heltron. It's its name. I'm allowed to say. So I'm going to be quiet now while this guy tries to. It's fine.
So
it's fine.
this is where I'll jump in and talk. Yeah, this is Heltron. This is actually my favorite boss out of all of them. Heltron has he is a little bit of a nuisance because he, as you can see, jets around the arena a lot. And the other issue being that he will shoot these bullets in absolutely random directions. And so this level starts to take on a little bit more of a bullet hell kind of identity compared to your traditional shmup.
I'm gonna play it safe.
The cool thing about this particular fight, though, if you know how to play it the right way, you can actually stun lock him. Asuka didn't quite get it here because it is actually very, very tight on the timing, but you can actually dash explosion into him and hit him with the rocket launcher back to back to back and stagger him in between phases and basically prevent him from attacking you back. So it's really, really precise, though. I've never actually been able to pull it off in any successful way at any point. This room is fun.
Oh, I didn't get power shot. No, I didn't make it in time.
Yeah, so that room in particular really sucks because there's not that many enemies and you've got that box there. If you start the cycling on the just on the other side of power shot, you may not get power shot to roll back around before you finish the area, and then you're still stuck with rocket launcher, which isn't a bad power up weapon, but it's not optimal. It's not quite the one we want because there's a reason I said power shot my beloved before. I do love me that weapon. Also, don't shoot right. Don't shoot
left. Well, that room is don't shoot right. This room is don't shoot left.
This room is don't shoot left. Yeah.
Oh God.
Jane trying
it's
to
fine.
sabotage
It's fine.
the run right here.
Yeah, there we go.
It's fine.
It's a little nerve-wracking there, but we're okay.
Hello, friend. You are.
Yeah,
okay, there we go.
This world gets a little bit chaotic just because you have these little power defense pieces that will jet out these rings in kind of like an outward fashion. So also don't shoot right.
Don't shoot right.
A lot of visual clutter.
Yes.
So I can imagine it's hard to
welcome to shmups.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
This is very much. It's an arena style shmup, but it is a shmup at heart. So yeah, you just have to kind of there's visual clutter, there's audio clutter, and you just kind of get used to it in a way. You like a lot of things, especially if you run games a lot, you just learn to tune it out. Mm-hmm. But there's certain things you're listening for.
What's important.
Exactly. And then you learn to hear secret exit found because that's when you know you have to hit the exit game.
Secret exit found.
And it's like this really cheery. It's like, no, I'm not cheery. I don't like you. It just be that way. Oh, I missed that. That's fine. Oh no. Yeah, I'll get it.
And I think up to this point, Asuka's actually managed to hit every single level transition.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not saying the other thing yet. But she managed to hit every level transition. And like we said earlier, if you manage to hit the little dash on the end of each level, this saves about a minute over the run. There is a little bit more time that you can save if you know where to stand in the arena itself before the level transition actually starts, because you do transfer between rooms from a particular point, and if you're standing in the right spot, you can actually cut that down a little bit. It's not a large time save, but it is free if you know where to stand and if you know where to like, where to position yourself when you kill the last enemy in the room. Like right there, that was the most optimal spot. So.
This is also the rare situation where it's a little bit faster to pick up the rocket launcher power up for the boss before the boss room itself.
I still don't understand why that is, by the way.
It's just faster to deal with the enemies if you already have rocket launcher.
Yeah, fair.
Also, so Heltron is Dane's favorite boss. Enforcer Prime is my boy. We are going to get stunted on by Enforcer Prime in this room right here.
See, you call this boss Enforcer Prime. I call him Enforcer Lame.
It's E Prime.
It's E
All right,
Lame.
this one I do have to. I'm going to try to get a little cheeky, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, this is Enforcer Lame. This boss sucks. Nobody likes this boss.
Oh, there it is.
I'm actually kidding. Enforcer Prime is actually a really good boss. I just make that joke to be contrarian because it's Asuka's favorite boss. Yeah, and you can see a little bit more bullet hell influence in this particular fight because, as you can see, there's a lot of projectiles you got to duck and dodge around. But yeah, she's doing a similar thing here, where just you keep shooting at him, with your regular bullets, and then if you can get the rocket launcher timing right, you can't completely stun lock him, but you can really, really shorten his phases if you just keep hitting him consistently with the rocket launcher. Problem is, it's a projectile, so it has a very slow travel time, and so it's very easy to miss if he decides to start flying around the arena.
I see a yet in chat the first time I got to see chat itself. Why is there a yet? What did I do?
I don't know what that was in reference to. Also, this room's great because one of the demos that plays during the main menu is in this room, and it's one of the most terrible pieces of gameplay.
That was a secret exit I shot directly at. It's fine.
You didn't hit it somehow.
Oh, I hit it a few times. I just didn't hit it with my power shot.
Yeah. So she almost hit the secret exit in that room before this one, and luckily that didn't happen.
Honestly, I kind of want to see it happen. I'm sorry to be that guy.
A sadist, Mr. Regal.
So there is one specific secret exit in World 6. There is going to be a Scaro-like enemy. You hit that secret exit, and we're talking
minute and a half.
Minute and a half of it's most secret exits are a single room. This one's like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Also, don't shoot right.
It's also
don't shoot right and up.
You mean left and up?
No, it's right and up. I made that mistake when I started. Yeah, it's right here.
Oh yeah, I totally did too. Okay. But yeah, that's good in Space Station in World 6. It's like not only is it a minute and a half, it's really, really, really easy to hit because of where it's placed, and you are nearly guaranteed to hit it if you don't know where it is.
Mm-hmm. Also, one thing that's going to come into play in this level, because every single level kind of adds something new to the mix. World 5 introduces the difference between pink and purple. Pink can kill you, but you can dash through pink. Purple will kill you and is stronger than pink. You can't dash through purple, and that is especially true in the Architect.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Architect when we get there. Luckily, some of the origin points for the purple lasers are enemies.
Say hi to that arcade cabinet.
Yeah, avoid that one. But yeah, there's origin points for the purple lasers in certain levels will stem from enemies or from breakable objects. So you can actually clear those out and free up a little room to move around. If you're in, like this room, for example, is another one where you can just break these things and free up a little bit of room. You can't break them all. There's one that's off screen and is unreachable, but you can save yourself a lot of hassle by breaking those. So this is the room where she's going to dash north as fast as possible to get up past those lasers before they kind of form in, and then she's just going to get ganked by like all these little nothing enemies. Their power is in numbers, and there's a lot of them. Luckily, Power Shot
Favorite transition.
Completely thrash a bunch of them all at once.
Yeah.
So this is another room where the visitor, killing the visitor is actually going to speed things up a little bit. The visitor is going to spawn on the bottom half of the screen, but it's just a lot of enemies that are just spread around and whatnot. So the visitor's popping in. I think she got most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the visitor.
This is one where I don't shoot. It's fine.
I hate this room because it's so hard to move around in here, and it's very easy to get hit by a lot of enemies that just pop around corners. Even though you can see them, you still have to get around them as they pop out, and it's really easy to get hit. I've actually had it where I think I lost like 3 lives in this one room in a run one time.
Yeah, the faster you can clear out the boxes in that room, the safer it is. But even so, it's so easy to just get ganked.
Yep. This room's pretty easy. It's mostly just enemies will spawn to the right or left, and they spawn in waves. So it's actually
green for good luck.
A pretty safe room to move around in. You're gonna get a big wave that spawns over on the right side. Just spawns in a big line, and then they start funneling toward you. But Asuka's a pro, and she can handle it no problem.
Ironically, as you say that, I'm about to say, all right, this is where I go silent because this is what I consider. Oh shoot, that's awkward.
The hardest boss, yeah. So this is the Architect. This is the final boss of Rookie mode. It's the second to last boss in Experienced or higher. I don't run Experienced because I am far worse at this game than Asuka is. I've beaten Experienced once. Asuka clobbers this difficulty every time she plays it. But yeah, this is the Architect. Architect is hidden behind a shield, and this is the slowest boss in the run by far, because between phases, the Architect will actually pull up a shield and will block you from being able to shoot. At the same time, you have to avoid all of these lasers and everything that are kind of spawning around, and other projectiles that are flying around. This first interstitial phase with pink lasers is easy. You just got to dash through them, and then you get another opportunity to start chunking down the Architect's health. She's going to be using the laser to deal regular sub-weapon damage and the dash explosion, same as we've seen with the other boss fights as we've gone.
Dash right.
Now it's going to change, yeah. So she's going to dash right because the laser's on the left. Going to dash right through that because, again, you can't dash through the purple lasers. And then we're going to be seeing the last little phase of this as she's going to chunk them down with more dash explosion. And if this were Rookie, we'd be calling time right about now. But this is Experienced, and we've got a whole extra world to take on, the space station.
Yep.
Very well done.
Thank you.
Nice.
And this is where, Dane.
I'll be doing most of the talking here because this game.
I don't know what to do here.
You can see this game demands your full focus. Like I sort of stopped running this game because I couldn't really talk to chat while I did it, because it's just you cannot take your eyes off the screen. There's too much happening for you to be able to just look away. I mean, even in practice, right before this run started, Asuka looked over at chat, on a different monitor and lost her shield. So you can't look away. It demands too much of your focus. But Space Station is definitely one of the harder worlds that you have to fight through. She thinks the boss at the end of this world is easier than Architect. I firmly disagree, but to each their own. So we're also going to be seeing a lot more of the laser mechanic being used here, and it's also going to be used in some creative ways. You're going to see a spinning turbine in a few rooms from now that can hit you with either a purple or a pink laser, depending on where you're standing at any given point. But yeah, there's a lot going on in these fights. It's luckily not an extremely mechanically dense run. There's not like a lot of this is the room I was talking about. There's not a lot, luckily, of speed tech or anything like that. There's a little bit, obviously, and there's definitely ways to speed things up. But for the most part, this run is largely just kill everything quickly and move on to the next room. And Asuka's approach. She's been doing this run for forever. So
biggest debate right here.
Yeah,
that minute and a half room I told you about.
Yeah, this is the room.
That's this room
with the secret arcade cabinet that is very, very easy to hit and will cause you to lose 1.5 minutes if you hit it because of it, you're doing like 6 or 7 extra secret rooms. So you got to be really, really careful when you're in there. But she, of course, knows where it is. So she was able to dodge the whole thing and no problem at all.
They put that giant enemy there to just basically say, oh yeah, shoot here, it's fine.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, big debate
Also, one thing, and this is actually a pretty chill room, so I can talk about it. Even using my triple dash or my dash explosions is very scary because the hitboxes are crummy. This is also another debate room, so right where that enemy spawned is an arcade cabinet right flush against those barrels. So I am being very cautious with where I'm aiming.
Yeah, I think I see it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those two are angering. Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, ironically, the first half of Space Station is a little harder than the second half.
Yeah. I say it gets a little chill, but not much.
Oh yeah, I mean, relatively easier,
relatively chill.
But not that much.
Yeah, this room, a shiny black Phoenix, who is like the god of Nex Machina, has this really fantastic flow. I don't have that flow. So I just kind of do it in a way that I know works for me.
Yeah, big shout outs to Phoenix, by the way. Phoenix, was, when I first started learning this run, Phoenix was in chat, like, yay, you can do this, and you can do this, and you can do this, and has offered a lot of advice to me personally over the years as I've been running this. So big shout out to Phoenix. A very, very cool dude.
I almost wasn't paying attention and got shot at. It's fine. All right, so, again, Point Disruptor, I don't like you. So this boss, time is going to be after I complete this boss. I'll call time when we get there, but I missed the rocket launcher. And the shield. Cool. This is it's fine. Bless. It's fine. But tell them a little bit about Nex Machina, and I need to hyper focus here.
Yeah, so this is Supreme AI. This is the technical final boss in any kind of PB attempt. Time is called at the end of this boss fight right here. As you can see, projectiles. And more projectiles and more projectiles. Supreme AI is mean and has a lot of projectiles. And like I said, I've only ever beaten this boss once in several attempts. So she is mean. So we're gonna be calling time at the end of this fight. There is, however, chat, there is an extra bonus boss fight. If you manage to 1cc this game, 1 clear continue this game without seeing the game over screen on experience difficulty or higher, you get to see the secret final boss, whose name is Nex Machina, or as we call her, Sexy Nexy. And she doesn't want me to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up anyway.
Please don't.
Oscar for a very long time.
Dane, please don't.
Come on, we gotta talk about it. It's too hyped to leave it alone. So I'm hyping you up, dude. All right, so for the longest time, Oscar was not able to beat Sexy Nexy because Sexy Nexy is a really, really, really hard fight. And last night, during a practice run, managed to actually beat her for the very, very first time. So time is coming up right.
Also, time.
GG's.
Dane, check my PB. Don't tell me until after I lose to Sexy Nexy.
You say you're gonna lose, but we'll see.
All right.
This I need to focus on because this is terrifying.
Yeah, this is a tough fight, so we're all gonna be quiet for this.
Dude, get out of my way. Yeah, I dash back instead of dash forward.
Yeah.
That's why I said don't talk about it.
Good try.
It is truly a really, really difficult fight. And you only get one chance at it. So the chances of getting they were really low. It's unfortunate, but I mean, still a really valiant effort. I mean, honestly, you did way better at that than I ever could. So you still get credit for it on that sense. But okay, so I got your time for it if you want to know.
I already looked at it. I'm 8 seconds over PB.
Yeah, 8 seconds. So, yeah,
seconds
she was
over?
8 seconds away from PB. That's.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's really good. So very well done.
That was fun. Now you get to see the bad secret ending. There's the bad ending, there's the good ending. Well, there's the rookie ending, there's the bad secret ending, and then which is I get kind of possessed by Nex Machina. And then there's the good secret ending, which is Nex Machina gets destroyed. And everybody is saved from technology, or at least like technology takes over everything. Yeah.
So, like, are there any categories that count the Nex Machina fight, or is that just
no? No, and the reason being is when the categories are being made to speed up the process, if you included Nex Machina, would be to just game over right at the beginning of the game, so you don't like get it held against you. Because if I would have seen game over throughout any point of the run, it would have ended right then and there at Supreme AI. I wouldn't have even gone to Nex Machina.
Yeah.
But
right.
There's nothing that really features it. There's 100%, which is like all the secret exits, all of the visitors, the beacons, the secret humans, like everything. And then there's the different difficulties, rookie, experienced, and veteran and whatnot. And that's veteran and master / hero, which is veteran's my current project to take on. But yeah. It's a fun game. It's easy to pick up, really tricky to master, but if you're a fan of shmups, definitely check it out. Check out Resogun. Check out any shmup. And for those of you that don't think shmups can be speedrun, not only did you just watch one, but I got my start in games done quick on a shmup. Not a platformer, not an action game, a shoot 'em up. Yep. So we exist. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this little slice of Nex Machina. Those that don't know who I am, I'm Oscar424. I play bad games quickly and good games badly. This is an exception to that. You can find me twitch.tv/Oscar424, Blue Sky at Oscar424. And when you're watching GDQ, watch every other Tuesday on the same week. Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm so used to saying 9 p.m. Central because that is the superior time zone. I host Express Lane, so speedruns that are 60 minutes or less. So definitely check it out. And yeah, we actually just had a Capcom themed show 2 days ago. So Dane, who are you? Where can they find you?
My name is Dangerous. You can find me here every other Wednesday, the day after Express Lane airs, hosting Crosshair, the show that features runs with bullets. So any game that has bullets of some sort in it, projectiles of any kind, lasers, rockets, grenades, whatever like that, you can find runs like that over on Crosshair. You can also find me at twitch.tv/dangerous. I stream fairly often, and I do a lot of casual playthroughs, a lot of speed runs. I've been playing a lot of Souls-like randomizers lately, so you can come find me over there, and yeah.
And this song is a banger.
Oh yeah, this credits theme, I never skip the credits because it's so good.
Yeah.
I wish I could hear it, honestly. I don't have audio in my ears. I didn't hear any of the awesome music that whole run, but I'll have to watch back and enjoy it that way. But yeah, thank y'all so much for doing this. That was a really cool run. It was great to have you on here. Another showrunner showing off their talents on Game Over. It's really great. But yeah, that was another episode of Game Over in the books. We had a really great run from the Godfather Dictator, Ninja Gaiden Black run. That was an awesome run of Nex Machina by Asuka424. I appreciate it so much. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But after this, we have Think Fast coming up, so make sure you stay tuned for that after the break. And thanks so much for watching.